So far in this course, we've looked at how competency is comprised of skills, knowledge and attitude, but we need to break down each of those much more deeply. And right now we're going to look at how we can access a learner's domains of their brain and get these components of competency through. You know, how can we reach a learner to get their skill set developed? How can we reach them to get that knowledge through? And how do we reach them? And what's our role as a trainer in their knowledge and their skills and their attitude? So skills, we tap into the psychomotor area of the brain. Okay, with this, and look, I'd like you to appreciate this mind map that was developed, and I do have a link there for you, mindmaptutor.com. So this is a great way to tap into your visual learning style and take a very complex concept and just break it down visually, piece by piece. So a quick little certificate 3-level breakdown of this whole concept of the psychomotor domain and how we develop skill sets through that. We're developing their physical skills to apply standard operating procedures. Okay, but there's also other skill sets as well. So it's not just that physical robotic motion of step 1, turn on the coffee machine, step 2, grab the milk jug, step 3, put the coffee in. It's not just that, it's also some other physical skills. So looking at your skills to communicate with the customers, your non-verbal body language, your posture. And it's repeating and experiencing and reflecting on how you can do that better time after time. Skills are all about experience. And let me just share with you, this is now the 3rd time that I've recorded this little lesson bite. Getting a little bit confident. These lesson bites used to take me 30 minutes to do. It was a brand new software program. There was lots of finessing. Oh, I've got it down to 5 minutes now. This is great. Except I got that confident that I forgot a very major step that I now think is a little bit pedantic, which was checking the microphone setting. So I've just recorded 2 with no audio because I've had my plugs in the wrong hole. So that's a reflection, that's going back, and for a long time I'll probably always follow that extra 15-second process of checking my microphone levels, which of course is a quality control as well. So a little bit of self-reflection there. But you can see that I've gone from taking half an hour to edit and develop something to have experienced it. I've discovered new ways or quicker ways of having that happen. I've had some mentoring to, show me some tricks to make it simpler. And now it's almost automatic. And that is that psychomotor domain of my brain developing synapses or little nerve processes to get this happening. So it took practice and practice and practice. And it was daily practice. And because it was daily practice, I needed to get the resources built, so it was daily practice. I was able to develop that skill set in a rather rapid period of time. However, if I'd have left this project to just cramming it once a week, it would have been a much slower development. So when you're tapping into the psychomotor domain, a daily repetition, time out for reflecting, how have I done it so much better than last time? What do I still need to develop? Is the way that you are reaching them as a trainer. So our knowledge component, this is where we're tapping into the cognitive skills, okay? Or I beg your pardon, your cognitive domain. So if you see these branches, anybody that has been exposed to some learning theories, would be familiar with Bloom. So Bloom's taxonomy is about different orders of thinking. There's lower orders and there's higher orders of thinking. So it's taking the experiences from, say, my generation and my parents' generation, Gen X and baby boomers, where school was all about rote learning. Let's memorize and repeat. We've come into now Gen Y and the computer age. We don't need to recall and repeat. We've got our smart device. We've got Google. If we want knowledge and information that way, we just Google it. So what Australia is becoming is a knowledge economy, and we're competing globally. So we need workers that are innovators, that are creators. And this is where a 1950s odd concept of blooms is so important in our modern day and age. So when we're looking at developing their knowledge, we have to move past providing just that factual information, checking their comprehension of it through the questioning, into activities that they can then apply in the workplace. So we're looking now at this yellow branch, this application and analysis, breaking it down into understandable parts, applying things like the mind maps perhaps, if that is going to be relevant and work with your learner group. And then you've got these higher order thinking. So you've got, the judgments that are being made, the current standard operating procedure. What's your judgment of that? How can we recreate this? How can we take the concepts? How can we analyse how effective they are and judge how effective they are in the workplace? And how can we build on that and make that better? And certainly as you get through different AQF levels, when you're presenting at a diploma level, advanced diploma level, and you're tapping into that middle and higher management, there is more work then around this higher order level. Finally, with competency, we look at attitude, and this is the affective domain of the brain. This is where we're developing their commitment to these new standard operating procedures, their new skill set that they're going to take into the workplace. And we do this largely through building their confidence, through supporting the learner and rewarding the learner, and that will help build their confidence. So an effective trainer is one that can tap into the affective domain, give them that positive feedback, that sense of reward, and it is absolutely essential. Let's summarise all of this so far. Let's think about you as a facilitator of learning, okay? So you need skills, knowledge and attitude to be a trainer, to perform the task of facilitating learning. So your psychomotor skills are developing when you're learning the standard operating procedures of operating a laptop and a PowerPoint. Perhaps also a data projector if it's face-to-face training, or the PowerPoint and how that's going to function if you're e-learning through to your clients. So with knowledge, you're going to need some concepts of how to be an effective communicator, how your learners learn best, and understanding what training is. So that's where we're tapping into your cognitive domain. And we've already covered now the domains of learning. We're going to go soon into the principles of learning and adult learning theories. And you're going to get a good knowledge base that you can then apply in your new situations and then start to be creative with and create your own resources to facilitate. With your attitude, we're looking at your commitment and willingness to help others develop their potential. So we're tapping into your affective area of the brain, and every time you have a learner give you feedback and they say, "Thank you so much, you made that so easy for me to understand," that is reaching you in your affective domain. That's rewarding you. There is nothing more rewarding as a trainer than having the final product and seeing the new skill sets in a learner and having them come up to you and say, thank you so much, you made that so easy. That is what an effective trainer is. So let's look at your roles then as a trainer to be able to tap into these domains, to be able to develop the skills, knowledge and attitude. So sometimes you'll be in instructor mode, you'll be in coach mode, you'll be a facilitator, and sometimes you might even be the mentor in a workplace, or it might be somebody else that's mentoring them along with your more formalised training. So the instructor, and we'll keep linking this back to the concepts, because don't forget, when we can apply it in new situations, when we can repeat those concepts, we're developing our knowledge base. So as an instructor, you're presenting the knowledge component of a course. So obviously then that's going to tap into the cognitive domain. Okay, you're going to need to be highly organised. So you're going to need to know all of that information. You're going to have it on hand in a way that you've created to present it effectively. And that's your delivery skill set. You might be in coach mode. So this is where you're enhancing their skill set. You're working through a standard operating procedure perhaps. Okay? And you can see here there's another little visual model going on. So every time they repeat, because don't forget we're looking at the psychomotor domain and we're looking at the practice. So every time they practice, they grow stronger and stronger. It gets larger and larger, their ability, their skill set to perform it. And this all comes through experience. They experience, they then reflect, what did I do well? What have I just learnt and applied, which can be celebrated? What is still a little area of weakness, or what didn't go so well this time? So what have I learnt from that? And now what's my objective for moving forward? And this process during the practice, through the experience of failure and reflection and moving forward, makes it a far more effective, conscious process. And you're there to help encourage that reflection. You're there to be tapping in and seeing how those practices are occurring and making sure that they're occurring. Then you'll be a facilitator, and this is where you're making training easy. Facile is the root word, and it's a French word meaning easy. So when you're in facilitator mode as a trainer, you're encouraging them and supporting your learners. Okay, you might be rewarding their success, and we'll have a little look at behaviourist theory shortly to see how rewarding them can effectively engage them. The final trainer mode is mentor. Now this may not be you. You might be the trainer in the more formalised training, and the mentor is likely to be somebody in the workplace. So you can see in this image, you've got the young new recruit to the company, and you have faded in the background, not that we value him any less, is the person who is the expert in the workplace. So this new guy here, he's coming to your training, he's learning these skill sets, he's part of a group, perhaps people are working in different work sites here, so you're teaching the concepts, the skills, the knowledge more generally, and he's starting to think about how this would apply in his workplace, certainly through the activities that you're providing him. But he'll have a mentor then back at the workplace, somebody that he can approach and say, oh, look, I've learnt this today, or I've learnt this week. And the mentor helps form the bridge between the general concept and how this functions in the workplace. Provides a lot of advice to the new recruit on conflict management at work. So it can be much larger than just the unit of competency.